Hello, everyone. Thank you all for staying connected. I hope everyone is doing well and staying safe. My name is Saraswati, and I have been a part of Zoho One for the past 3.5 years, and I'll be a host for today's session. And I'm excited to take you through this webinar. So, let me just share my screen to start the process. So, before we begin the session, let me ask you something. So, how many of you still carry cash everywhere and use it for every single transaction? Probably not many, right? Because a few years ago, we relied on cash for everything, standing in long lines to withdraw money, carrying changes, and keeping track of expenses manually. Now, with digital payments, things have completely changed. Whether it's paying bills, splitting a restaurant bill, or shopping online, everything happens in just a few taps because it's faster, more accurate, and effortless. But when it comes to HR management, many businesses are still stuck on the cash payment era. So they are using paper forms for onboarding, emails for leave approvals, and spreadsheets for tracking attendance and performance. But what if HR process could be as smooth and effortless as digital payments? Exactly what we are here to explore today. Simplify your human resources team's life with Zoho People application. So before we dive into today's session, I have few agenda for you. So let me just spell out the agenda. First, we'll start with a brief overview of Zoho One and how Zoho People fits into the ecosystem. Next, we will dive into the various settings and services available in Zoho People to help you manage your workforce efficiently. And then we'll look at how to access and utilize employee data available in the operations tab for better decision making. And finally, we'll see how Zoho People can be accessed by employees and ensuring seamless interaction and usability. We'll dive right into the first topic. You might be asking, like, what exactly is Zoho One? So if you're already familiar with it, that's great. But for those who aren't, here is a quick introduction to what Zoho One is all about. Do you have any idea like what this picture means? So basically, it's a cockpit. So do you have any guesses like why I have added this picture in this slide? So it represents the easy to access everything in one place, right? A cockpit allows the pilot to control all function in once. Similarly, Zoho One is an all-in-one sort of application designed to manage every aspect of your business, from sales and marketing to finance and support. Basically, it brings together over 45 plus integrated application. So it's providing you with a tool to run your organization seamlessly from various departments. So if you are looking to enhance your customer engagement or automate your sales processes or streamlining your workflows, Zoho One offers everything you need on a single platform. So now within the Zoho One bundle, let's take a closer look at how Zoho People is streamlining the process. So now let's step into the shoes of an HR team at Zilker Tech Solutions, a fast growing company that struggled with managing employee data, tracking attendance, handling leave requests, and ensuring smooth payroll processing. Their small HR team was overwhelmed with manual processes, and that leads to errors and inefficiency. And that's when they discovered Zoho People, a complete HR management solution. And that transformed the way they work. So now let's talk about what made the difference for the team. First, a centralized employee database. Instead of searching through scattered files and emails, all employee records were now stored in one secure place. So HR could access any information in just a few clicks. Next, attendance and leave management become effortless. So employees no longer had to email HR every time they needed a leave approval. So everything was automated, requests were submitted, managers approved them instantly, and records are updated in real time. Then, custom workflow took manual work out of the equation. So whether it was employee approval or policy update, Zoho People automate these processes. Performance management, HR could now set clear goals and they will be able to track employee progresses and provide real-time feedback. And in the payroll and compliance, like salary calculations were now automated and accurate. So this ensures employees were paid correctly and on time every time. And finally, they had actionable HR insights. So instead of making decisions based on guesswork, they could generate reports with real-time data. So this helped HR team makes more faster and more informed decisions. So in today's session, I'll show you how Zoho People can save you time and make your HR work more efficient and keep everything organized. So let's get started. So to give you a clear understanding, I'll now switch to Zoho People application and walk you through the process and an employee and an admin's perspective. So for that, I'm heading over to one.zoho.com. So when you log into your, Zoho One application, this is how the dashboard used to look. So from here, you can, easily access your Zoho People application. And in case if you are unable to see the application in this bundle, you can also assign the application in the unassigned app section and include it in your Zoho One bundle. So when we log into Zoho People application, this is how the dashboard of Zoho People looks. So from here, I'm heading over to the settings tab because every great system starts with a strong foundation. So in Zoho People, the foundation is a settings tab. It's your control system for managing organization-wide policies and defining how your HR system operates. So from this tab, you can view your subscription details and your personal information and your role. So this entire control access is only for the super administrator, and user assigned a setting administrator have permissions to modify the settings. From here, you can explore and configure a list of services available in Zoho People. So now you might be wondering, like, what exactly do we mean by services? Of services as the different HR function that help you manage an employee journey from their first day to their last day. Zoho People provides two types of services, the default services and the custom services. The default services are nothing but these are the inbuilt features that are available based on your subscription. And it used to cover the essential HR operation like attendance, leave management, performance management, and more. Then we do have custom services. These allows you to create unique modules tailored to your business need, such as tracking certification, training program, or any other custom workflows. So by configuring these services, you ensure a seamless and efficient HR experience for your organization. So now that we have set up our Zoho People account, what is the next step? Basically, we need to manage the users in Zoho People, right? For that, I'm heading over to the Manage Account Service in the Settings tab. So this is where the administrator can add employees, and they will be able to define roles and permission, and they will be able to manage access to various services within the system. So in Zoho People, there are multiple ways to add employees to your account. So in the user tab, we will be able to add the employees. So let's see each and every type now. So to add a new employee, you can simply click on add users. So from here, you will be able to manually invite employees to join via email, or you can also sync your employee information from Zoho Mail, Google Workspace, or Office 365. So if your team is already using these services, you can effortlessly import employee details into Zoho People. And in case if you are trying to add multiple employees at once, you can simply upload an employee list to quickly populate your database. So once employees are added, each will have their own Zoho People account with login active access. And this allows them to use the platform based on their assigned roles and permission. Okay. So now that we have added the employees, let's say not all employees need full access to Zoho People application, right? Because some profile may be created for temporary contract workers, a form of employees whose record needs to be maintained, our staff member who does not require any login access. In this scenario, you can add them as an employee profile user in your Zoho People application. So you can add an employee profile user and you can manage them in the Zoho People account. So now let's talk about configuring your organization structure and settings in Zoho People. So in the organization tab, you'll be able to customize your organization details, profile, policy, and structure to match your business needs. And here you can also outline your company's organizational chart by setting up locations, departments, and designation. Location tab, if you have multiple branches or office, you can add and manage the location here. And in the department section, you can create and manage departments to categorize your employees. And in the designation tab, you can set up roles and job titles within your organization. And to make your Zoho People feel like it's truly your own, you can add and verify your domain here. And once you have added the domain, you will be able to add users directly based on your verified domain. And here, you also have the option to personalize your Zoho People login URL for your employee. So based on your organization brand, you can also personalize a login URL for your employees. And in the from address section, you can also manage the official email addresses to Zoho People account. So when you add the email address here, these are going to use for communications across the system, whether it's sending alerts, approvals, or any other notification. So once we have added the user, what is the next step? Basically, we have to define the access control for them in Zoho People, right? So this is where we can define who can access different services, data, forms, and action within the application. So in Zoho People, like there are two key types of administrator. One is a setting administrator, the other one is data administrator. So let's take a closer look like how these roles are going to be reflect, in your account. Setting administrator is nothing but who is responsible for configuring system settings such as managing the modules, workflow, and the overall customization. So like they will be able to customize all the modules here. So data administrator is nothing but they will be able to focus on data management. So that is they will be able to manage the employee records, reports, and access control for sensitive information. So beyond these roles, Zoho People also has some general roles such as admin, manager, and team member. So you can add the employee to any of these respective roles. And in case for your organization, if you want to create any other custom or general role, you can also create a general role. So this will be reflect here, and you can assign the user to the respective roles here. And additionally, if needed, you can also designate any employee as an administrator and grant them admin rights only for data or only for a specific service. So this gives you control over like how responsibilities are distributed. So now that we have defined the employee management in our service setting, so let's explore how HR operations are carried out based on this configuration. So for that, I'm heading over to the Operations tab in the People's application. All employee-related activities such as creating, viewing, and updating employee information across different services are managed within the Operations tab. So here, I'm selecting the Employee Information module. From here, administrator can add new employees and maintain the records efficiently. So every employee information is stored in a structured format. So this means you will be able to view and retrieve the employee details easily. And you can also edit or update the records whenever necessary. And you can also take necessary actions like role change, department transfers, and much more actions here. Beyond managing individual employees, HR team can also create department, and they will be able to create designation and assign employees to specific departments or work profile. The user specific section, we will, for example, if you do have multiple users in your organization, you can search the user by their name or by using the unique ID. From here, you will be able to view all their basic information, and you can edit their profile, and you can also view the audit history of the respective employee. Now that we have covered the fundamental settings in Zoho People application, so let's move forward and explore how to configure different services to meet your organization unique needs. Let me ask you this. What is one of the most crucial process in an organization? Definitely, it's an onboarding phase, right? Because it is the first step in an employee's journey. So we have to, set the tone for their experience and integrate into the company. So with Zoho People, you can fully automate and customize this process. Zoho People offers two types of onboarding. One is candidate onboarding, the other one is employee onboarding. So let's take a closer look at each types of onboarding now. So candidate onboarding is nothing but even before hiring the candidate, you can collect the required documents from them to run the background check. And you can also share your company policies, forms, all in a customizable workflow. And we do have employee onboarding. So employee onboarding is nothing but once hired, the system guides the new employee through paperwork, trainings, and role assignment to ensure a seamless transition into the company. So now let's talk about how you can customize the employee onboarding workflow in Zoho People application. So for that, I'm heading back to my application, and the settings tab, I'm selecting my onboarding service. As you could see, it's been classified into candidate onboarding and employee onboarding. So from here, I'll try to create an employee onboarding. So to create a new employee onboarding, you can simply click on add new flow, and you can provide the name for the flow, and you can set the location, and you can select the role and the flow expiration date. And after adding all the key information, we can save the details. So this is how it used to look in your end. So here we do have multiple elements of the employee onboarding. So let's go step by step to understand each and every element. First element we do have is the welcome aboard. So this is nothing but here you can embed an introductory video here to give them a warm welcome and introduce them to the company. So basically, this is the first thing the employees are going to see. Next step, we have profiles and forms. So this is where employees fill in their personal and their professional details. So we can add the respective form here. And so based on that, employee can fill in all the necessary information. So this ensure that all key information is captured from day one. And here we can associate company policies and document. So this allows employee to access important documents such as company policies, contracts, and other essential materials they need to review and sign. Help them settle in, we also have a team details section. So this allows new employee to get familiar with their team and access basic team information. And under the objectives, employee can see their key responsibilities and performance expectation in the company. In the company information section, if you want to share more about your company, you can add the company website here. So employee can explore it easily. And finally, we have the training module. So if there are any courses employees need to complete as part of their onboarding, you can add them here either as an optional learning or mandatory learning. So with all the element in place, everything has been added. You can save the entry. So in the preview onboarding flow, you can see like how this onboarding is going to be reflect for your employee. So you can simply click on get started and you can see like how the welcome aboard profile and other form is going to be visible. So as you could see, the employee information form is visible. From here, the employee can easily fill in the personal and the professional detail. And in the document and policy section, they'll be able to view the respective documents in your organization. And in the team details, employee will be able to view their respective, team members in it. So with all these elements in place, Zoho People ensures that your new hires have a smooth and structured onboarding experience. So once employees are added, the next step is to create and assign shifts to ensure a well-structured work schedule. So for that, I'm heading over to the settings tab again. And from here, I'll try to select the shift service. So here, let's see like how you can create and manage shift in Zoho People application. So to create the shift, I'm heading over to the manage shifts under the configuration tab. So this is where you can create and manage different shifts based on your organization needs. So here you can set up morning, evening, night, or even a custom shifts. So once the shift is created, you can easily allocate the employees to their respective shifts. And under the general tab, you can set a default shift. Let's say if your company has a standard shift for all employees, you can configure a default shift to simplify the scheduling. And you can also control who has access to the shift mapping feature. Typically, like some organization allows only managers to map the shift, but here you have the flexibility to enable team members to view the shift details. So here's how you can manage the permission. So here you can grant or deny access using the checkbox provided. So here you'll be able to set like who can view and who can edit the shift information. And you can decide if employee can change shift for past date. And if you want employees to stay informed more about their work schedule, you can enable the shift notification based on feeds or based on email. And under the automation tab, if your organization follows rotating shift, you can also configure shift rotation here and automate the process. So with this feature, Zoho People makes shift management easy and reducing the scheduling issues. So now that we have set up the shift, so what is the next step? Basically, we have to manage the employee attendance because keeping track of workers can be challenging because some employees are in the office, some are working remotely, or others are out on official duty. So, how do we ensure an accurate and hassle free attendance process? That's where the attendance management comes in. Zoho People make it easy to track and manage attendance. So, let's see how it works. So, for that, I'm heading over to the attendance service in the settings tab. Zoho People offers multiple ways to track attendance within the application, such as on duty, hardly permission, short breaks, kiosk, regularization, and much more. So, based on the method we choose, we will always have real time visibility into who's in, who's out, and who might, need a little reminder to check in. So after choosing how to track the attendance method, the next step is setting up the right attendance policy. The Zoho People offers two types of attendance mode. One is the strict mode, the other one is lenient mode. So let's take a closer look at the two types of mode. So in strict mode, employee must complete their full work hours to be marked as present. And if they don't, their attendance status may be changed to half a day or absent. So let's take an example to understand this better. Let's say in your organization, employees are required to complete at least um, 9 hours, 9 hour shift to be marked as present, and at least 4 hours to be marked as half a day. So let's see how this is going to be reflected. So I'll go with an example to understand this. Let's say in strict mode, if an employee check in at 9 a.m. and check out at 6 p.m., they are completing 9 hours, right? So in this scenario, they will be marked as fully present. In another case, if an employee check in at 10 a.m. and leaves at 2:30 p.m., they are completing only 4.5 hours. So it's greater than 4 hours. So because for the half a day section, we have provided 4 hours. So it's greater than 4 hours. So in that scenario, the system will mark this as half a day. Let's say if an employee works only 3 hours, that is, they are logging at 9 a.m. and log out at 12 p.m. So they are works only 3 hours. In this scenario, the system will mark them will mark the respective user as absent. So in strict mode, if an employee does not meet the required work hours, their attendance is affected. Now we'll just see the other mode that is available, that is lenient mode. So now in lenient mode, things are completely different. So employees are considered as present as long as they check in and check out, even if they don't complete the full hours. Let's say in lenient mode, an employee log in at 9 a.m. and logs out at 3 p.m. So they have completed only 6 hours, but still the system it used to mark the status as present. So in lenient mode, employees have more of flexibility in their working hours. So now I'm heading into the application and we'll try to cover some of the other fields involved in it. And if this option is enabled, allow overtime and duration, any shortfall in hours is recorded as deviation, while extra hours are logged as overtime. So by selecting the right mode, you can ensure accurate attendance tracking while maintaining flexibility where needed. Let's say employee forget to check in or check out on a particular day. In this scenario, how will the employee be able to manage their attendance? This is where the regularization comes into play. With regularization requests, employees can update their check-in and check-out times by providing a valid reason. So you can also customize how these requests are handled by. So here we can decide whether to create new entries or update existing entries. We can also define the allowed reasons for correction. And the restriction tab, we can set up the restriction and approval to control when and how correction can be made. So this ensure attendance records stay accurate while maintaining the accountability. So now, all the attendance has been successfully captured into your application. Okay. So what's the next step? So based on these entries, we need to process this employee payment, right? So this is where the pay period settings comes into a play. So with payroll system integrated into your Zoho payroll, that is with your Zoho People application, you can seamlessly push all attendance data directly into your payroll reports. This means you will be able to capture the total work days, payable days, loss of pay information. So all of these details are automatically fetched and the report can be effortlessly pushed into your Zoho payroll or any other payroll solution. So based on this, you will be able to make the compensation to your employee. You'll be able to make the payment to your employee and on time. Now that we have configured the attendance management in our service setting, let's explore how HR operations are carried out based on these configuration. To do this, I'm heading over to the attendance module under the operations tab. Once inside, we gain access to all attendance data. That is, we'll be able to view all attendance data. So and this allows us to efficiently manage and track employee data. That is in the user specific session. If you try to select the specific user, you'll be able to gain access to all the attendance data of the user. And from here, as an administrator, you have access to a centralized dashboard where you can review all attendance records in one place. And you can also approve or reject the regularization request. So this ensure that you have a smooth workforce management with complete visibility with overall attendance data. So in the regularization tab, you will be able to raise the regularization, and in the attendance section, you will be able to add your own brackets. And in the advanced attendance tracking method, Zoho People also supports multiple attendance tracking method, including biometric integration for seamless automation, web check-ins, mobile check-ins, and so on. So this allows employee to mark their attendance based on these other functionalities. So these are the key features that are available in the attendance part. So now that we have covered the attendance tracking in Zoho People application, let's move on to the another crucial aspect of workforce management, that is managing employees' leave. Let's be real. So whether it's a vacation, a sick leave or parental leave, employees need a hassle-free way to request time off, right? That's exactly what Zoho People Leave Management offers. So now let's see how we can customize a leave policy to fit your organization. So for that, I'm selecting the leave tracker module under the services. So in Zoho People, like let's see like how we can customize leave policies to fit your organization. So in Zoho People, like you can configure different type of entitlement to create a comprehensive leave policy. So these are the default leave policies that are available based on your subscription. So you can also make use of these leave policies. But in case if you want to create any other custom policy, you can simply click on add leave policy icon. So there are 4 types of entitlement here, and each designed to accommodate various leave scenarios. So let's take a closer look at each types now. First type we do have is the fixed entitlement. So these are the leaves with a predefined quota that employees can avail within a set period. That is based on monthly, quarterly, or annually. For example, annual leave, casual leave, or sick leave, it applies equally to all employees regardless of their experience. So in this scenario, like you can, like in case if you want to provide any leave that is based on annual leave, casual leave, or sick leave, you can make use of the fixed entitlement option. Then we do have experience-based entitlement. This is nothing but some leave policy evolve with an employee's experience. The longer they stay, the more leave they can earn. Let's say a privilege leave or earned leave, which increases based on a year of experience. So in that scenario, you can make use of the experience-based entitlement. So then we do have grant-based leave. So basically, this is a special case leave, such as an extended, sick leave, or it's a maternity or paternity leave. It can be provided based on a case-by-case basis, and this require the approval from an HR or a manager to provide it. So these leaves are typically not automatic, but can be granted based on specific circumstances. We do have attendance-based entitlement. So this is nothing but leave is earned based on actual working days of an employee. Let's say if an employee works 20 days without taking leave, they earn an extra leave day as a reward. So these are the 4 different entitlements that are available in Zoho People. So based on these types, now let's see how we can set up an annual leave type in Zoho People application. So to do this, I'm selecting the fixed entitlement, and I'm click on next. So from here, you can provide the name for the leave, and we can define whether the leave should be paid or unpaid. And we can choose a unit whether it is based on days or whether it is based on hours. And Zoho People allows you to control when and how leave is credited to employees. So instead of granting all leave at once, you can choose the accrual year. For example, let's say if I'm going to specify the credit as 1 and day as, instead of days, I'm going to specify this as monthly. This is nothing but if the entitlement is set to 1 day per month, the system will automatically credit 1 leave day at the beginning of each month. So at the end of the year, the user will be able to get 12 annual days. That is 12 annual leave. In the reset option, you can determine whether the leave balance should be reset And you can set the resale interval here. And reset is enabled. You can choose to allow unused leave to be carried forward or encashed. And in the validity section, we can define an expired date or leave it open ended for this leave type. And once you set the details and the entitlement, under the applicability section, we can define the specific criteria for employees to specify like who are going to qualify for this leave. So we can, use the add criteria option to refine the add criteria or exception option to refine the eligibility. And once that's set, I'm heading over to the restriction tab. Here we will be able to configure advanced parameter such as sandwich policy and clubbing rules, and we'll be able to set the file upload requirements for leave application and the maximum number of leave that can be applied consequently. So here we will be able to define advanced rule for your leave. So once you have configured the entitlement, applicability, and the restriction, you can click on save. So this leave type will be available to the employee. Based on that, they can, take access to it. So we all know that sometimes employees need to put in extra hours, whether it's working on a weekend, a public holiday, or staying late to meet a deadline. But when that happens, it's only fair that they get some time off in return, right? That exactly what compensatory off comes in. So with Zoho People, employees can log their extra work and request time off later as long as their organization allows it. Let's see how does this work. So there are three key aspects to setting up compensatory off in Zoho People. So in the mode of request, here we will be able to define the approved method employee can use to request a compensatory time off. So whether through direct approvals or through an automated process. So you can define you can decide like how the requests are handled here. And in the restriction tab, you can establish limitations around compensatory leave requests. For example, we can set up a time frame so within which employee must use their compensatory off. And in the entitlement section, this used to determine the leave an employee is eligible for. So based on the overtime, if an employee works extra hours on a weekend or holiday, they used to receive the equivalent time off. And you can configure the expire date for the compensatory off and you can save the information. And on the work calendar page, you can define your organization working days, holiday, and the shift schedules. And Zoho People also provides pre-configured leave policy based on your country's labor law. So with just a few clicks, you can activate the leave type that follows local regularization, that is regulations, and you can associate it with your application. Now that we have configured the leave management in our service settings, so let's explore how HR operations are carried out based on these configuration. To do this, I'm heading over to the operations tab and selecting the leave tracker service. So once inside, operation administrator have complete control over how leave can be managed. So from here, they can apply leave either on behalf of an employee or for themselves, and they will be able to manage compensatory holidays to ensure fair time of adjustment, and they can configure holiday lists to align with company policies. Additionally, Zoho People provides a flexibility to customize the leave balance for employees based on specific requirements, and we can also adjust leave balance for a specific employee to ensure that their accuracy across the record are perfect. That is, we can set the existing balance and the new balance here. And this consolidate employee view is used to provide the unique view for each and every user. So all individual records consolidated in one place. So this makes it easy for the administrator and employee to track leave history, and they will be able to monitor the balance of the employee to ensure a smooth workforce planning. So with this feature in place, leave management become more structured and transparent way for the administrator and for the employees to manage it. So now that we have covered the leave management feature, let's focus to tracking the time employee actually worked on work. So let's move on to the another key aspect in Zoho People application. Think about it, an employee takes time off, returns refresh, and get back to work. But how do we track the hours they put in after they leave? More importantly, like how do we ensure accurate payroll calculation, especially for those working on a hourly or project basis? So this is where Zoho People Time Tracker comes in. So with the Time Tracker feature, employee can easily log their work hours, whether they are tracking time for a specific project, task, or just their regular workday. So now let's quickly dive into the key settings available for configuring the time blocks. For that, I'm heading over to the settings module, and from here, I'm selecting the time tracker module. In the time lock section, employee will be able to record their times in three ways. By manually entering the time spent, using the automatic timer for real-time tracking, and entering the start and end times directly. The restriction for time lock, we will be able to set rules to ensure time log is that is rules to ensure time is logged according to company policy, such as restricting past edits or defining cutoff times for logging entries. And here you can also control like who can view, edit, or delete times log in the permission tab. And in the preference for time lock section, we will be able to customize how time locks are displayed and summarized, tailoring the system to fit your organization unique needs. So this is how like we will be, able to configure the time log and the time sheets in your Zoho People application. So now that we have effectively tracked the employee work, the next step is managing their performance. This is where Zoho People performance management comes into a play. So with this feature, you can set up appraisals tailored to your organization by choosing the right metrics, evaluation methods, and privacy settings to meet your needs. So in the performance method, as you could see, primary evaluation are classified into multiple types. So let's break it down into the key elements. First element we do have is the KRA. So KRA is nothing but this defines an employee's primary responsibility and how they contribute to the company goals. So an example to understand that a sales executive's KRA might be lead generation and conversion because that used to directly impacting their revenue goal. The same way we do have goals. So goals are nothing but it's a specific measurable objective that keeps employee focused and aligned with business target. Let's say a support agent may have a goal like resolve like 95% of customer queries within 24 hours. Then we do have skill set. Skill set are nothing but like there are technical and professional abilities required for a job. And this help define what an employee knows and can apply for the job. For example, a software developer may need a skill in Python, Java, or cloud computing. This is how like we will be able to evaluate the customer based on the skill set. We do have competency. So competency are nothing but like unlike technical skill, competency or soft skills and behavioral traits like leadership, teamwork, and problem solving. Let's say a project manager competency would be effective communication to ensure smooth collaboration between the teams. And finally, Zoho People makes performance management seamless with its open feedback system. So instead of waiting for an annual review, employee can give and receive feedback anytime. So these are the key elements that are available in the appraisal evaluation method. So once you choose the right evaluation method, the next step is to process the appraisal template in it. So to begin, I am navigate to the appraisal template process and click on create appraisal template. So this will serve you as a foundation for configuring your evaluation. So here you can provide the name for the appraisal template, and the next step is to set up the appraisal process. So each appraisal cycle can include multiple level of reviews. Let's say if it's a self appraisal, employees can access their own performance, offering insights for their perspective. And if it's a multi-reviewer, managers, peers, or other designated reviewers can provide their evaluation. And if it's related to multi-rater, feedback taken from other team member with whom an employer has worked with. So once the reviews are completed, you have the flexibility to propose salary hike based on the performance, or we can apply a normalization process to adjust rating and ensure consistency with company policy. So once added the key setting, you can click on create appraisal template. To further customize the appraisal process, you can define how evaluations will be conducted. So the self-appraisal criteria, employees can be accessed using quantitative and the qualitative parameters. And in the managers review section, manager can provide structured feedback using both the qualitative and the quantitative parameter. So qualitative parameter is nothing but based on the uh, you know parameters such as KRA, goals, and competency. They will be able to provide the information. So once you configure this, click on next to proceed with manager review section. So here you can set up multiple review sections. So you can set up multiple review level, and you can preview the process and customize your appraisal form as needed. And in the rating section, you can define the rating type and the range. And you can also set the module weightage for different evaluation parameter. And we will be able to adjust the additional settings under the additional option to fine tune how the rating process are going to be. And once configured, click next to move to the normalization section. So the normalization tab ensures that ratings are distributed fairly across the organization. So here you can define the ideal rating distribution, and you can make necessary adjustment for consistency. Finally, in the publish configuration, you can publish and you can choose how and when the appraisal results should be. So you can decide whether the review will be shared manually or automatically based on a completion, or we can also specify like which details will be shared with an employee. And in this option, you can enable feedback sharing to allow employees to view and respond to other evaluation. And once everything is set, you can click on submit to finalize your appraisal template. So based on this appraisal template, you will be able to evaluate your customers, that is evaluate your employees in your organization. And so far, we have seen the basic services and the data related to the services in Zoho People application. So now I'm heading over to the left side tab that serves as a dedicated employee service portal in your Zoho People application. So this is, basically designed to provide a self-service portal for Zoho People application, and this is accessible for each and every user. So this designed to provide employees with quick and easy access to manage their daily task efficiently. So let's take a closer look at the key features in the left side bar. So first we do have the attendance management. So here employees can conveniently check in and check out and review their attendance record in real time. And in the time tracker section, employees can log time for daily tasks, jobs, or project. So this feature allows efficient tracking of productivity, ensuring that work hours are well accounted for. And in the performance management section, employees can stay top on their goals, KRA, and objective, ensuring that they are aligned with expectation and company's target. And in the compensation and payroll tab, employees have quick access to payroll related information, including salary details, pay slip, tax deduction, and other financial records. And the leave management, employees can easily apply for leave and they will be able to track leave balance and they can view their leave requests in this dashboard. So like whether it's a planned leave, sick leave, or compensatory off, this request ensures a smooth leave request, a smooth leave process, and this used to make it more seamless way for the employee to manage all the information. So with all these tools integrated in one convenient portal, employee can efficiently manage the work and track the progress and stay informed. Additionally, Zoho People also provides a centralized report page where the employees, manager, and the organization will be able to manage each and every report with a detailed insights in it. And Zoho People also offers integration with other application, with other Zoho apps or with other third-party application. So to access this, can simply hit on this icon and you can simply hit on the settings icon and you can click on the marketplace. So from here you will be able to seamlessly integrate your Zoho People application with other Zoho apps or with other third party application. So by using this, like, you can seamlessly push the information from one end to another. And that's all for today's session. Thank you all for staying connected, and we'll see you in another webinar. Thank you.